Yo, what up? This is D Knight, and you're listening to the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. My oh my, we've had so much going on. For starters, in case you missed it, we've got a new addition to the Pardon Pie family, Tara Dublin. Make sure you go follow her on Twitter at Tara Dublin Rocks. Also, pick up a copy of her book while you're at it. Make her day, The Sound of Settling. A very fun and interesting read compared to the things we talk about on this podcast. But yeah, we're heading toward the do or die time for the 2024 election. Go ahead and hit up JoeBiden.com. Get that man like $1 a month or something. Help his campaign staff up and get prepared to try and save our democracy. And make sure to grab like one other person you know and tell them about the podcast. Make sure they subscribe and tune in every single week. We got a lot of things coming up for you this year. We need all the support that we can get. So if you do your part and help us grow our audience, we'll do our part and help elect Joe Biden in 2024 and save American democracy. And this is the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. Hey, this is D Knight, along with my co-host Ty and Carol, and you're listening to the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. Hey, Carol, how bad is it when you have your phone seized by the FBI at a fast food drive-thru? Like, what has gone so terribly wrong in your life when you've reached that point?
Well, from a legal perspective, I mean, if you've committed a lesser crime, they wouldn't take your phone away at anything below a mid-range steakhouse. So if they take it away at a Hardee's, you know you're really fucked. You're really fucked if it's Hardee's. Okay, got it. I learned that in law school. So if it was a low-level felony, they would have caught him in like a Benihana's or something, where you'd be like, oh, it's a little bit more upscale.
Or maybe prior to dessert at Morton's.
Well, yeah, you're definitely getting medium rare steak at the. Okay, look.
I wonder. Like, I think he's freaking out because he doesn't have a computer. He said so. He can't go onto the cloud and get his plug's number. So he's speaking right now.
He's like, oh man, I lost all my contacts. How am I going to get my fix?
He better not erase. Better not erase my number. Like, he's losing it.
Well, can he call Don Jr.'s guy?
Because he can't. Well, he doesn't have his phone. He can't either. He can't tweet. He was kicked off Twitter.
And he doesn't know Lindell TV, right? And ask like it. And like, if you're a good Christian and patriot, send crack to Mike Lindell.
All right, I've
can't remember his.
I will give you 70% off of your next MyPillow.
Oh my God!
He can't even log into Frank's speech.
I'm done. Oh man, that was.
His life is over.
I'll trade you a MyPillow for my crack.
It's just a bunch of fucking people on the south side of Minneapolis walking around with pillows.
Yeah, promo code heroin, right? Yeah, this is pretty rough.
Promo code.
Okay, look, this tampering with election equipment thing, it's going to get a lot of people in trouble. Not just in Colorado with this Tina Peters situation, but also, you know, we still have that ongoing investigation in Georgia. And of course, there's been more video released as it pertains to that. So more people are fucked. Yeah, it's not looking great. Oh, and yeah, you know, that whole thing where Smartmatic is going to sue his ass for $1 gazillion, and he's probably going to lose that too. Okay, on to the next topic. Geoffrey Berman says Bill Barr rigged the DOJ. William Barr, Donald Trump's second attorney general, or at least his second appointed attorney general, like the non-acting variety, fired Geoffrey Berman from the powerful Southern District of New York 5 months before the 2020 election. Wonderful timing there. In his new memoir, Berman alleges interference both on behalf of Trump allies and against Trump enemies. The book outlines numerous alleged incidents, including the Halbank investigation into a Turkish bank's operations in regard to Iran, an ultimately stymied investigation of John Kerry, Barack Obama's former Secretary of State, for conversations with Iranian diplomats after leaving his post. Berman told MSNBC that at the time of his firing, the SDNY was working on a couple of politically sensitive cases. One of those cases is Steve Bannon's We Build the Wall case, in which Trump's former White House strategist was ultimately charged with fraud. That, again, like we masturbate to pictures of that perp walk. And we were very close to indicting that case around the time I got fired, and Barr knew about the case. Trump eventually issued Steve Bannon a pardon for the scheme before leaving office. We overlook this very often, but man, that long list of pardons that Trump issued to his co-conspirators before, that was a fucking dumpster fire. Anyway, Berman continued. The other case was the Ukraine investigations arising out of the Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman indictments. And that was something that we had been investigating for quite a while. And then we continued to investigate for quite a while. We had always wondered what happened to that. Parnas and Fruman worked with Rudy Giuliani, the former New York mayor turned Trump attorney, to try to extract political dirt from the government of Ukraine, efforts which led to Trump's first impeachment. If one impeachment wasn't enough for trying to blackmail another head of state and opening an investigation into your political rival, you had to try and overthrow the government. All right. So what we can take away from here is that Bill Barr was Trump's, what was Trump's old lawyer who used to do all this fucking hatchet work and shit up in New York?
Roy Cohn?
Yeah, Bill Barr was Trump's Roy Cohn. There you go.
Roy was. Bill Barr is too much an established man still. He's crooked, but
he ain't on some Roy Cohn shit. Yeah, he ain't on some mob shit.
Yeah, he was like he was on some old school shit.
I mean, hey, look, we all know that Bill Barr basically used DOJ as his little toy to go after Trump's enemies. I feel like we knew this already, but now we just have someone who was in office at the time putting it on the record. Going after.
Yeah, on the record. We knew that he was using, because wasn't he using Barr in his to defend himself against Jean Carroll's?
Yeah, using the DOJ and that civil suit
as his a personal lawyer to defend him.
Yeah, and then going after Michael Cohen or trying to get the charges dropped, depending on whether Cohen was gonna keep his mouth closed or not. And then there's the whole Michael Flynn thing where he pled guilty and then he tried to unplead guilty, and then Barr tried to have the guilty plea. I mean, look, Bill Barr was up to some fuckery, some endless fuckery at DOJ. I'm glad he's gone. Elections have consequences. Now we have Garland in here and he's investigating all these motherfuckers. I'm sure at some point, Bill Barr will probably be under investigation for obstruction of justice. Fingers crossed. We can only hope. Geoffrey Clark investigation, because the investigations never end. The Justice Department is investigating felony violations of false statements, conspiracy, and obstruction as part of its January 6, 2021 probe that led to a recent search of former Trump's administration official Geoffrey Clark's home. Clark's legal team wrote that on June 20th, approximately a dozen armed agents of the Department of Justice's Office of Inspector General, I didn't actually know they carried the piece, but they was packing. The Inspector General's office got their heat, executed a criminal search warrant at Mr. Clark's home at around 7 a.m., and seized his electronic devices as part of an investigation into violations of law concerning false statements, conspiracy, and obstruction, according to a report published Wednesday by a committee of the D.C. Bar's Board of Professional Responsibility. When the bar is going in on you, you've made some mistakes in your life. Separate from the criminal investigation in which Clark has not been charged, the D.C. Bar's Disciplinary Council brought an ethics complaint against Clark for the role he played in seeking to use his department to promote Trump's bogus election fraud claims at the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. Carol, is DOJ investing everyone in everything from the sounds of this? I mean, not only are they looking at the coup, but they're looking at the attempts to obstruct their investigation and lies given on the record.
They just have heaps upon heaps of stuff to sort through. This isn't coming in onesie twosie, as Ron DeSantis was saying earlier.
Onesie.
Oh God, it's coming in onesie. It's not coming in onesie twosies. We've got 5Gs and 6Gs and 8Gs of evidence here.
And 40s.
Yeah, 40s.
Yeah. Not to be confused with a 40 ounce of beer, but 40 subpoenas at a time.
Look, they had to think they were going to get away with it. They must have thought that their plan was foolproof because the amount of digital, electronic memos, emails, I mean, they would literally send 100 emails and it's like, dude, just pick up the fucking phone and say what you got to say in those 10 minutes. Like, but they were like, how you doing? I'm good. What's up? We're going to do that coup? I'm good. You ready? Like, I mean, literally freaking one sentence, one paragraph in reading through these emails. And I'm like, dude, you could have just put that like in a long text or just picked up the phone.
Yeah, pick up the phone. Like, you know, at least that way, like, all right, the only record is of a phone call. They don't have the actual content.
You know what you were talking about. And literally, if you squished all that together, it was probably 4.5 minutes of conversation.
Okay, here's what I want to know.
And that's it.
If you work for the Department of Justice, wouldn't you think it would be a bad idea to lie to the FBI?
Not if you're attempting the coup. And you think that the coup, because I think these people were giddy over that. They thought they were like, we can't be stopped. I believe they thought without a doubt that they could not be stopped, that they did not think that there was any way that they had all of their bases covered. Okay, so if Pence doesn't do what we want, like we can hang him or like, you know,
martial law.
Yeah, like we can, or we'll just take him over. Like they were going to try to take him over to Andrews Air Force Base. That didn't work. They had the gallows ready. That didn't work. They were trying to put pressure on him before. That didn't work. Your
boy was like, I'm not even getting in the car with the Secret Service agents because who knows where I'll end up.
Well, we'll send our fake electors. So if any of these fall through, they had safety net after safety net after safety net. They thought
plans.
There was no way. They did not count on people having conscience at the last minute. And I think some people were on board, but at the last minute it was like, I can't do this.
Like you said, they thought the plan was foolproof, but they did not count on how many fools were involved in this end.
Yes, that's true. 2,000 fools. That's the new, what is it? Like Naked Gun style police academy, but 2,000 fools.
Okay, not 2,000 mules, but 2,000 fools. That's a good, I'm going to write that book, make it a movie, a documentary.
Want to stage a coup? 2,000 fools. Like that, I don't know, something. The voiceover.
All right, kids. On to the next topic. The January 6th committee receives Secret Service text messages, finally, or rather Secret Service records. The chair of the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol attack said Wednesday that the panel has received thousands of exhibits from Secret Service agents in response to its July subpoena of the agency. Chair Benny Thompson told reporters that the materials obtained are a combination of a number of text messages, emails, radio traffic, Microsoft Teams chat meetings, and more.
Damn.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit, and the committee is still reviewing them. Just a single text message was turned over by the Secret Service amid thousands of documents in response to the committee's request, a plea from then Capitol Police Officer Stephen Sun asking for help. How many people are fucked now that they've discovered that there was actually a shit ton of information that they could have turned over originally, but they only sent one single text message the first time? Carol, go.
Well, when they, I'm going to say first the lawyer who swore that she personally inspected it.
You're fucked.
She's fucked. Oh, yeah, fucked. That they had it and deleted it. They're going to be pinned for obstruction to the extent that they can be proved. I mean, they've got, I guess that's the intent element there, right? They fucking hit it. They I don't know, man. I had that margarita. It was good. It's gone now.
Hey, Ty, isn't it incredible that once Biden put his people in place at the Secret Service, that voila, magically records and documents and messages and chats and radio communications show up overnight? It's incredible. What a coincidence.
It is so, like, when they start going through the stuff, if I was this, I would quit. Tony Ornato.
Tony Ornato did quit. In fact, he was like, "I retire."
Yeah, today, and I'm getting tired of these fuckers retiring on my dime. Tired of paying for these fuckers who have done nothing but try to take over the government, suppress my vote. And I need to understand, if I ever see Merrick Garland after I give him a really, really big tongue kiss, I'm going to, because he's sexy.
Damn. I didn't know you got all warm and moist for Merrick Garland like that.
I wouldn't even know what the origin was. I'm just sitting here switzing in my own.
You would ride them glasses off his face, girl?
You know what? When he gave that press conference, that kind of short one, I was like...
What, the I'm not fucking around press conference?
Yes, I don't know.
A couple weeks ago.
Something in me, I was just looking and I go, how you doing, Garland? I was like, this guy really good looking right now.
I mean, look, I'm not gay, and I would hit it after.
I love, there was something super sexy, but.
Carol, does Merrick Garland make you wet?
No.
Hey, we can't please everybody.
I do. I'm very happy, and I know that he hates it. Because he's like, I just want to do my job in the background, but these people keep forcing me to do these dog and pony show for them.
I feel sorry for the poor guys. Like, damn, it's a whole new crime spree every week that he has investigated. Like, the shit must be exhausting.
He's like, I remember when you would have like one case you worked on for 3 years, not 3 years of cases to work on. And like
every
there
week
would be that one big crime, like Watergate.
Yeah, like, we'd have one major national scandal every couple of years. He's like, no, we have major national scandal every couple of weeks.
Every couple of weeks, we've got everything. And then every foreign agent's like, oh, well, this guy was working on behalf of Saudi Arabia. This guy was working on behalf of Turkey. This guy, he gave an ambassadorship to. Well, this person stole this, and this person was authorized for that. And then he used the DOJ. And like, Merrick is like, I need to be here for like a decade.
He's gonna have to be the longest serving attorney general in history.
Yeah, the longest serving attorney general. And whoever, every single cabinet position, we can never let any Republican anywhere near the White House.
Never.
We cannot let them anywhere near the Senate. They are just going to distract. It's going to be a dog and pony show. There's no goodwill. There's no good faith when it comes to Republicans anymore. There's no decency. People are literally at their base levels. Like they would literally recreate 1939 Madison Square Garden Nazi rally.
All right, our second Nazi reference of the evening.
Yeah. But mark my words, it's only going to be a matter of time before they're dropping flags like that, like the Nazi flags.
I saw the Trump rally.
Hang it. Well, what next time? I promise you there's going to be flags. It might be a weird ass Trump flag with some SS Nazi symbol, but they're going to be
where we go one all fucking symbol thing and they're doing the salute. Yeah, it's coming. You just wait.
Yeah, but Madison Square Garden isn't going to book for Trump. They want to get paid.
That's totally fair. They would like their money. Okay, next topic. Mark Meadows, the narc, as Ty called him last week, complies with DOJ subpoenas. Former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows has complied with the subpoena from the Justice Department's investigation into events surrounding. Oh, I'm sorry. What happened?
Oh, no, melatonin time.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and get lit off them melatonin pills, yo. You're going to be woozy. I'm looking forward to that.
It's for the youngins.
No, they don't need that. Let them stay up all night and party, yo. You get high off the melatonin. Anyway, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows has complied with a subpoena from the Justice Department's investigation into events surrounding, you guessed it, January 6, 2021. That date keeps coming up, making him the highest ranking Trump official known to have responded to a subpoena in the federal investigation. Meadows turned over the same materials he provided to the House Select Committee investigating the U.S. Capitol attack, one source said. meeting the obligations of the Justice Department subpoena, which has not been previously reported. Last year, Meadows turned over thousands of text messages and emails to the House committee before he stopped cooperating. The text he handed over between Election Day 2020 and Joe Biden's inauguration, which CNN previously obtained, provided a window into his dealings at the White House, though he withheld hundreds of messages, citing executive privilege. In addition to Trump's former chief of staff, one of Meadows' top deputies in the White House, Ben Williamson, also recently received a grand jury subpoena. Another source familiar with the matter tells CNN that subpoena was similar to what others in Trump's orbit received. It asked for testimony and records relating to the January 6th and efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Is Mark Meadows cooperating, yay or nay?
Yeah.
And by cooperating, I don't mean just like, oh, wait, the subpoena said, no, is he in like WITSEC?
Oh, for sure. I think he is. I think he most definitely is deep cover. He is for sure like an entrenched informant. But now, like Trump's lawyers telling him to cut ties with him.
And Trump being like, nah.
They're aware. They are aware. I think Jared is informant. I think Mark Meadows is. But Jared for sure. He could care less. I don't even think Ivanka likes her dad. Really.
I mean, there was this picture of Jared like walking by Trump like a few weeks ago, like the golf. I mean, it might have been the Live Golf, so maybe a month ago, where he's walking in front of Trump and he's just looking down. He can't even look Trump in the eye. I was like, oh, yep, he's cooperating.
Yeah. He's Jared. I feel like he was the one that probably told where those documents were. I think he is the human source, whatever they call the informants or the human source of intelligence or what have you.
Yeah, for the classified documents in Mar-a-Lago. I mean, it's entirely possible.
I think he had more access than Mark Meadows would to know where that stuff was.
I mean, it's difficult to know. Like, we don't even know if like the Secret Service agents involved in protecting Trump might have been there's so many possible people that could be involved that could also be informing the FBI in that matter. That is like good. I mean, just throw a dart and you might hit an informant.
Maybe it was the person that like has to clean the ketchup off the walls. You know,
Carol, have you finished your margarita?
Yeah.
She did.
You sound so disappointed. Would you like me to make you another one?
No, I gotta go to bed soon.
Oh, you don't have to. You can stay up and play with us.
Well, it's midnight where Carol is. After midnight.
Oh, we are keeping you up past your bedtime. I'm sorry. We'll let you get out of.
Look at this snuggly kitty who came to me on my lap.
For those of you out there who are wondering,
there's a snuggly kitty on my lap.
Yes, this is an audio medium, so rubbing your pussy is like not fitting for this particular.
I wish I could have. I like cats. I think they're adorable, even though I'm pretty sure they want to kill all humans. But
I don't think that's how cats work.
Like, I'm allergic in a bad way. Like, my entire face swells up like Elephant Man. I get lumps all over. My friend.
Yeah, you're too beautiful. We can't be ruining your facial features with cats.
Shadow was her cat's name. Shadow is gray. And when I would sleep at her house, Shadow would sit on and rub his tail on my face. It was almost like he knew that I was allergic, and it would start burning and welts would pop up and I'd wake up and my face would be, and that's what the cat would do to me.
Well, I've never had that experience from having pussy rubbed in my face. All right, on to the next topic. Russia spending over $300 million on political parties. Moscow has covertly funded political parties, officials, and politicians in at least 24 nations across 4 continents since 2014 to the tune of more than $300 million and plan to transfer hundreds of millions more, according to a newly declassified intelligence review. President Biden's administration is sharing details of the review with 110 countries as part of its campaign to expose Russia's actions by making them public. Seems like a good fucking plan. Russia is motivated by trying to advantage specific political parties and undermine democracy in all of these countries. That sounds very familiar. I wonder if the United States might have been subjected to any of those particular activities by Russia. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken on Monday sent a cable to embassies around the world detailing the findings of this review by the intelligence community. For Russia, the benefits of covert political financing are twofold. One, to develop influence over benefiting individuals and parties, and to increase the likelihood of those parties to perform well in elections. The hidden relationships between these parties and their Russian benefactors undermine the integrity of and public faith in democratic institutions, the cable says. Does it sound fairly strange to you that Russia might have been spending hundreds of millions of dollars on political parties across the world? Like,
strange? No. Honestly, that's the sort of thing I expected from them. It's shady as hell, but like it makes total sense that they've been funding fascism and Russia-friendly policy all over the world.
Yeah. Do you have any possible examples that you could name off the top of your head that might fit this particular scenario?
I'm gonna start with the least obvious. I mean, we got Orban, we got Bolsonaro, and then fucking this guy, I forget his name, Trumpy, Oompa Loompa.
Does his name rhyme with Tronald Dump?
Yeah.
That guy.
Gonad Lump.
Okay, So we have Orban, we have Lukashenko, we have Putin.
We have Brexit.
Le Pen, probably.
Oh gosh. Marine. Is it Marine or Marine?
Oh, Marine? Is there an accent at the end? I think
it's Marine. Yeah, I hadn't looked to see if it was. No, well, you know what?
I don't think Marine is a word.
In
is a name.
My friend Marine, her name is spelled the exact same way, and that's how her name is pronounced. So every time I see it, I think about Marine.
I'm fairly sure it's Marine.
You know, Marine. Yeah, Marine.
Yep, she's a Russian asset. So is probably Boris Johnson. I mean, all these fuckers. Like, it's impossible to tell who Russia has dug its fingers into around the world, but I imagine many countries are experiencing the same shit we're experiencing here with the Republican Party in America. Like
Myanmar, what's going
whole disaster. That's that would take its own podcast.
You're right. And even Africa, I mean, China's been doing a lot of good. I hate to say that, but
pros and cons, double-edged sword with what China does around the world. It's usually, it seems like help, but it's usually at the expense of these other countries becoming reliant upon China.
We installed a dictator, but here's an electric train.
You go.
And that's pretty much the bribe. It's like, we got an eco-friendly infrastructure for you. We just don't mind us installing this dictator.
I think you nailed it.
Yep, pretty much. And then, we've been so oblivious that...
Not all of us.
I mean, they've literally built 6,000 kilometers of track in Ethiopia, which I think it is all clean energy, the trains they have there. And then I was looking because I would spend some time on African Twitter. I really enjoy Nigerian Twitter.
Yeah, they get wild over there.
On Nigerian Twitter I really, really enjoy Nigerian Twitter.
I mean, apart from the princes who email me for the funds that they were supposed to send me, but I have to send them $100 fee. Anyway, yeah, Nigerian Twitter. Good
Maybe
times.
It would be done faster if you sent them $200.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, yes. No, it's twice as much. So they do it
twice
as fast, right? Yeah. Oh, that makes so much sense, Kara. You know what? That's how you get shit done. Oh, internet's back on.
Yay. That's important. Yeah. We need
I'm
internet.
Just sitting I've been on my ex-husband's internet plan since 2009.
So he's good for something.
Well, I don't know because I don't know if he pays the bill. I got on it. Because he doesn't have any money. There's no more money.
All right.
Every time I see my old employee and he's like, so have you talked to Ralph? And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, there's no money. There's not going to be any money ever again. I'm like, because it was different 20 years ago because he also had businesses. So there was always up and down with finance, but there was a way to earn more money. This is it. Like everything that there's left once he sells, that's it.
All he has left is internet access. Got it.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
he's like, he barely even has that.
It's on. I mean, my electricity and stuff is still on. So
let's enjoy it while we can.
I'm enjoying it while I can. So that it's, well, you know, it actually might get cooler if I was sitting in here in the dark.
Oh, yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, maybe he could at least get you some air conditioning. All right, next topic, the FBI. FBI agent under investigation for ties to Russia's Oleg Deripaska. A former FBI agent who once investigated then Donald Trump's ties to Russia is now under investigation for his own relationship with a Russian oligarch. Insider reports. Court documents allege investigators are looking into the ties between Oleg Deripaska and Charles McGonigal, who once led counterintelligence at the FBI's New York City field office. Deripaska is a billionaire oligarch and Kremlin aide who was at the center of allegations in 2016 that Russia colluded with the Trump campaign. The investigation appears to center around McGonigal's work with a shady consulting firm owned by Deripaska, Spectrum Risk Solutions, which he did not disclose. Failing to disclose it may land McGonigal in hot water with the foreign agent. Yeah, it's unfortunate. The Foreign Agent Registration Act strikes again. Even if cleared of any violations, however, a witness subpoena says prosecutors are looking into whether or not he had ties to the government of Bosnia and whoever this is, Herzegovina.
Herzegovina.
Herzegovina. Okay, yeah, look, reading is fundamental. And whether he may have received payments or gifts from the governments of Kosovo, Montenegro, and Albania. That is the trifecta of Russian influence reaching out in foreign countries there. Yeah. So here's a question. Considering Deripaska is like the head of, running Russia's campaign as it pertains to owning or rather running Trump as an asset, and Jared Kushner is the go-between for Trump's campaign as it pertains to his relationship with Russia. Where does this fucking FBI agent fit in, and why does he have ties to the same people who were basically running interference in the 2016 election on behalf of Trump?
He probably had some stupid job that, I swear, I'm just getting moles everywhere. But he probably had some stupid job.
Wait, let's go back to your moles. Where was this particular?
No, I was just looking, but it looks like here. This one looks like I cut myself. Oh no, that was just dirt or something. I thought.
All right. Well, I'm glad we don't have to get you. We don't have to sign you up for the cancer screening. You're like, oh, I was just dirty. A shower, we'll fix that.
I don't know what that. You know what I think it was when I had cooked that steak. Because I didn't eat it with a fork or anything. So
you got steak juice all over yourself?
And the little piece from the burnt part on the outside. Because I was like, what is
Wait, how do you cook your steaks? Do you do medium or?
I like a medium. Yeah, I put it in there and then I like to get it kind of crispy on the outside. But this, I'm not sure what kind of meat it was. It was just $7. So I bought it.
Right. Carol, how do you eat your steak?
Medium rare.
Really?
What?
You like a little blood in there, like a little juice in the middle?
I don't know if I could do medium rare.
I'm somewhere. If I usually ask for medium, and if they undercook it, it's fine. But sometimes if I ask for medium rare, it's too. I don't want my I don't want my steak to moo.
No, I get that. Well, see, that's how my friend Barbie is. Barbie likes medium rare too, pretty much just seared, but. Once it rests, it can. But yeah, I think the medium is that a lot of times I think people are afraid to do a true medium, so they overcook it and it ends up being medium well.
Yeah,
that kind of bugs me because I like the red, and I think if you work at a steakhouse, that should be the one thing you do.
Right, well. That's the one thing you should be able to not fuck up.
If you fuck up anything else on the, if I go to Church's Chicken and I decide that I'm going to get the one thing on the menu that's not chicken, whatever it is, and they fuck it up. Like, I have no one to blame but myself.
Right, because you went to a chicken restaurant. Like, if you go to a steakhouse and they fuck up a steak, like, shame on you, a posh on you and your family. Look, anyone out there who's eating your steak, well done. You're a fucking monster and possibly a serial killer.
My mother, and I have been wanting to check the backyard. So I do believe she could be a serial killer.
Yeah, I don't know what the thing. I don't know what the thing is, but a lot of older Black people do seem to particularly enjoy their steak well done.
Hockey puck.
You are monsters.
She's so funny because
monsters.
She's like, and she's my mom is really bougie. So when she's talking about it, she's like, I eat my steak well done. Like,
as if that's some kind of status symbol. Like, okay, everyone's looking at you funny. The server is looking at you funny. They're in the kitchen cooking your steak. They're snickering and laughing at your steak. Like, oh, you destroyed the thing. Yeah, they're probably like dropping it on the floor and like rubbing all the crumbs on it.
That one from yesterday.
Good. Yeah. We'll get you the day old steak. We'll just heat it up in the microwave. All right. Yeah. Look, I don't even know how I got onto this from Oleg Deripaska, but like, I feel like if you're an FBI agent and you're in charge of counterintelligence, you shouldn't be in any way, shape, form, or fashion receiving funds from any kind of Russian oligarch in any way. Like, conflict of interest at minimum, at worst, like you could easily be compelled to do some untoward behavior and abuse your position at the FBI. Just not a good look.
I think this has been a long time coming. I think Putin, whatever, has been playing the long game. I honestly think, like, when I was looking at Kosovo and I was looking when he was like the head of the, not military, but pretty much like that, his position. And then he tried to, because he was leader of Russia before.
At the intelligence service, yeah.
And then he tried to circumvent when everybody left, the U.S. I remember, what was it, that Clinton was on the plane or something, and they get a call, and he's like, motherfucker. Like, they got to turn around because this fucker's pulling up to the border because he's like, they gone? All right. Because he was trying to slide in there and circumvent the UN. So they knew he was a sneaky bastard. And I think he was already, making moves, because the number of people that are coming out that were literally waiting for Trump and became a part of his inner circle, his administration. And a lot of these people are not old. Some of them, they're in their 40s, their 50s. And they were setting up the one guy who was setting up the Russian TV stations, or the stations to do the propaganda.
You've lost me there. Like, there's so many people. I literally you have to give me a
name. But it was then I go, God, this guy was sitting here like this was insidious. I almost feel like everyone was going through the motions, and then somebody flipped a switch and they've been activated.
Yeah, and like sleeper cells.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, it's really funny. Okay, so like when we were talking about Peter Strzok, that investigation that he was involved in was called the Illegals Program, where Russia intelligence services sent all these people over to the United States to assume these random identities. They basically spent years undercover, just living normal lives to get into a position where they could have some influence and connections, and then they would like activate. And it's like the same shit. It's like all these people who have all these various ties to Russian intelligence, or Russian businessmen who also generally work for the Kremlin. It's just like hit a button. It's like, all right, Russians activate. It's like some Kaiser Sose type shit.
Yeah.
Like, you might not even know you work for the motherfucker, but you do. And then when he calls your number, you're up. Time to do your thing.
You're up. You're like, I was thinking about the Americans, and when I was watching it when it first came on, and I was just like, wow, I bet this was really, I grew up in the 80s. And I remember the Cold War and stuff. And that was what we were afraid of. Like the Americans, that this person could be a spy, like this person could be a spy, this person is spying for, but we really did have that. And then now it's like, it's gotten to the point that people don't even care to hide it. I mean, look at Ron DeSantis's Christina Pushaw was, a foreign agent for fucking Georgia.
Yeah, it's quite insane. And like, he literally had a foreign agent working as his press secretary or something like that. Hey, Carol, have you ever seen The Usual Suspects?
Yes.
Yeah, you had. I was just wondering if you got like the Kaiser Sose reference.
I did. I'm just tired.
Oh yeah, that margarita kicked your ass. Yeah, and
it's 12:30 or 12:20 here.
It is getting really late.
Sleepy kitty.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to get you to bed soon. I just wanted to get that in there because much like Kevin Spacey, Putin's about to get canceled. Anyway, Trump lawyer registers as a foreign agent because, of course, the circle is complete. It was recently reported that the former president's newest attorney, former Florida Solicitor General Chris Kice, demanded payment up front to represent Trump, an unusually high $3 million retainer. He had to get his millions up front because you never know with Trump and paying his bills. The retainer was paid through Trump Save America PAC, which is probably also a crime that his PAC is paying his legal fees, which is also reportedly under criminal investigation by a federal grand jury. We'll add another crime to the list. The competency of Trump's current legal team has been questioned by his advisors and others. And considering that at least two of his attorneys, Christina Bobb and Everett Corcoran, may become witnesses in the FBI's obstruction investigation into stolen classified documents, it comes as no surprise that Chris Kice had to register as a foreign agent earlier this year for his work on behalf of Nicolas Maduro's Attorney General. Though the U.S. no longer recognizes Maduro as the legitimate head of Venezuela's government. Is it entirely possible that yet another foreign agent is trying to get his hands on classified materials by signing up as Trump's attorney and using that position to get access to the classified documents that were stolen by Trump and are currently about to possibly be reviewed by a special master? Yes or no?
Sure.
That was a lot.
Sure, why not? But didn't the special master already say like, no, that's classified?
I mean, he did say like, hey, look, did you declassify these documents? Yes or no? And Trump's team was like, well, sir, look, we really don't want to get into whether or not we did that. We're going to save that just in case we were indicted.
Oh,
and the special master was like, you can't have your cake and eat it too, which I feel like defeats the whole purpose of having cake, but I get the point.
Yeah. It's not what that means.
I knew that
just for those of us who don't know, that expression means once you eat the cake, you no longer have cake. Not that you should eat the cake you have.
That's true. But I think of it as, but I have a whole cake. So if I get this piece, I ate it and I get to have there, see?
Yeah. It doesn't mean like, can I just lick the icing off the cake and still have the cake too? That's not how that works. You can't just half eat the cake.
No.
Yeah, look, it's it's incredible how many of these people who happen to just be foreign agents just swarm around Trump. It's insane. I can't necessarily attribute any malicious behavior to this guy, this gentleman who happens to be working for an authoritarian, but I mean, it's entirely possible that, hey, it's yet
you mean
another...
Maduro or Trump?
Yes. It's entirely it's entirely possible that like, hey, this is yet another spy who's using his position in the legal world to get close to Trump so we can have access to some documents that Maduro could do untoward things with. I don't know. Like, it's insane. Like, every time we look up, it's another motherfucker working for a foreign country. Like,
and they'll be like, if the former president's criminal attorneys can't see this nation's classified documents, no one might be able to see this nation's classified documents.
And that would be such a travesty.
Yeah. If they could take it away from them, they could take it away from you.
If Trump can't have the classified documents, then you can't either. And what kind of world is that we're living in?
Trump's foreign agent registered attorney can't see them. Neither can you.
Oh my God.
I personally don't want maybe that's his end around. Maybe he hired Chris Kise to come in
and view the documents.
So that he could look at the documents. What was those little things you would see in the movies? And it would look like a little jump drive and they would taking pictures. And then they, like in the Pelican Brief or something in there.
Yeah, like, get the micro cam out to try and take the pictures of the shit real quick on
like, it looks like a freaking USB drive.
I mean, it's 2022. The dude would just pull his iPhone out. But yeah, you're absolutely
right. And just take pic. But
why is everything a fucking scheme with these people? I don't understand. Like, it's endless cramming. All right, last subject for the day. Matt Gaetz, representative from Florida, sought a pardon for sex trafficking. Aware that he was the target of a federal sex trafficking investigation, Representative Matt Gaetz told a White House aide he'd asked former Trump administration Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, whose name keeps coming up because he's involved in some shady shit, about a preemptive pardon, according to the Washington Post. Gaetz said that he had done nothing wrong, but allegedly said that if the president could give him a pardon, that would be great, because he's turning the fucking tiger today for some reason. That claim was reportedly made during former aide Johnny McEntee's testimony before the congressional committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol. In June, former Meadows aide Cassidy Hutchinson testified to the January 6th committee that she recalled Gaetz lobbying for a blanket pardon for Trump acolytes who challenged transferring power to the 46th president's administration. She could not speak specifically to Gates's alleged, man, I cannot read. Oh my God. She could not speak specifically to Gates's alleged request for amnesty. Has anyone in the history of the United States ever asked the president for a pardon for sex trafficking? Yes or no?
Back in a time where, I don't think they used that term back in the day.
No.
There were a lot of things going on where people probably didn't feel sex trafficking was wrong. So they wouldn't have, like all human beings they thought was okay. So I don't think they would have thought, I think he's the first one. That's a politician. I'm not saying that some person Trump ran around with in his Playboy days been like, hey, remember that party that we were at in 88? Yeah, I'm going to need some help with that. Or, whatever.
I don't know if that's ever come up.
I could definitely see that happen. But I'm just surprised with as much as Matt Gaetz talks, like the dude can't shut up. Like you have him on the tape with Roger Stone and it's like, oh yeah, talk to the big guy. Said he's gonna you're not gonna see a day in jail, don't you worry. So here he was smoozing and, being the slickster he is, getting pardons for everybody else. He probably thought, oh, mine's in the bag.
For sure. He absolutely thought he was guaranteed to get one as much as he kissed Trump's ass. Sure. Wrong again, buddy.
He thought his loyalty was going to pay off and I think he really thought. But no, did you hear when he was at the freaking youth summit thingy where he says, I like that I'm the oldest guy here?
That was some creepy shit.
And also, we all saw that audience was full of old ladies. So,
yes, because they ate the children. They're like the little old lady.
I'm fairly sure if they were eating kids, Matt Gaetz would have been like, "Oh, save some children for me."
These women, Republican women, remind me definitely the woman that wanted to cook Hansel and Gretel was a Q. For sure. For absolute sure. And that's what those ladies make me think of. They are the most evil, just heinous people. And every time I'm walking and I can just look at someone and in my mind, I'm like, she would totally Karen, And then my son tells me today that there's this little Dollar General. So I usually give him $2 to $3 a day. And I'm like, because it's 30 minutes before Jeremy gets out. So they stop at the store and then they walk to Jeremy's school. Because his friend lives across the street. So Christopher, I gave you $5. Where is it? It goes, oh, well, I can't go to the Dollar Tree. They said I couldn't go in there anymore. And I go, what?
Oh, no.
There were some kids like horsing around, and Daniel and I were getting ready, his best friend, Daniel, so Chinese kid. And he goes, there were some kids, but this guy just came up to us and he says, to get out, you can't come here anymore.
Oh.
Okay. And I was like, did they tell the kids that were horsing around to leave? He goes, no, I don't know why. They didn't even tell us why. He just said that we had to leave. I go, was he nice or was me? He was like, he was kind of mean. And he's like, you can't come in here anymore. You have to leave the store right now.
Oh, this is rather unfortunate. Like, why is he treating some children this way? I don't understand.
And I was like, what does this guy look like? Was he old or was he young? And I said, because I'm going by there tomorrow. And I'm going to go by there and I'm going to ask to speak to a manager. And then I'm going to tell the manager that I think that my son was kicked out because he's Black. There aren't a lot. I go, so every other kid was in that store, but my son who goes in there every day, he always has money. He goes in there by himself. You know, it's cheaper than the gas station.
Right.
And then, and I go, was anyone else kicked out? He goes, no, just us.
Well, if Matt Gates ran that store, he would definitely be inviting your son and all your son's friends.
And I don't like to be hypersensitive on things and just
that's some fucking annoying shit. Because like
that's just really, and I go, because I'm not one of these parents that if their kid is out here doing crazy shit, but my boy wants to talk about Copernicus and the dam. And he's like, I was talking to my social studies teacher today, and then they were surprised that I knew that such and such, and this was the reason that World War I. That's my kid, He's just a nerd, and he doesn't understand things, but just that everyone else can go into the Dollar General, but he can't now after school. Like there's no other stores around. It's like, all the kids, a lot of them have siblings at the elementary school, so that's the thing. They walk, spend that 30 minutes and go. But I'm like, okay, what kind of threat am I going to give to the person there other than that I was going to have him boycotted and I was going to tell the school that they were racist and not to let their students go there.
Okay. Yeah. Way to end things on the most possibly down of down notes.
You're a kid and you're going after school, everyone's going and you're singled out and you're banned from like going and buying your fucking hot fries because that seems to be what he buys every day.
Yeah. And then you got to be like, damn, do I even want to give my money to Dollar General like this?
Well, yeah. And then it was like, do you even, but it's really pissed me off though.
Yeah. Dollar General, if you're listening, we will not be accepting your sponsorship at this time.
Not at all.
Dollar General, ignore everything Carol just said. We'll take every dollar, every sponsorship. Well, all you have to do is fire this one particular individual at this one particular Dollar General store. And everything's all good.
With this little fucker and ask him, so what is it that propelled you to? Because obviously if they were stealing, they would have caught. There's always cops because whenever I'm walking,
right,
you can see the cops driving, you can see them like kind of skulking in the alley because I was driving. I was going to pick her up and I had already picked up Jeremy. And then I was like, where the hell is my kid? So I'm going to the store, and then you can see him because, whenever you have a bunch of teenagers gathering at a store or whatever and what have you, but like the kids getting ready to check out and you just like, you need to leave and don't come back.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. But it'd be different if they had like a standing policy. Hey, just like no unaccompanied minors of.
But the thing is they have like they'll have a limit at certain stores. They're like no backpacks allowed, right. Or they'll say only 2 students at a time. Like I've seen that places that are near high schools. Usually they're in the neighborhood that's lower income because like none of the stores have that where we live. Because you never know who somebody's parents are. And El Paso's West Side is really tight knit. But yeah, and I was like, I don't appreciate that though. That really had pissed me off because I go, if it was something that was a discipline thing or a thing of criminal or, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay.
Yeah, there's absolutely no, like your child didn't do anything to
or like
receive that
going
kind of response.
to all the kids and saying, hey, you kids horsing around, get out.
Yeah, they just singled him out. Like that's awful. Don't make me fly down to El Paso to beat somebody's ass, okay? Don't have me going to jail because I'm like fighting at the Dollar General store.
He's pretty recognizable. I think you could probably count on one hand the number of Black kids at his school. I mean, there's more at the elementary school than there are at the middle school. Like the elementary school it's pretty diverse. It's really diverse at there. But he's Matt Gaetz he is so slimy. It's that the Republicans are so slimy. They're just gross on every level. They're gross on human level. They're gross on intellectual level. They're just disgusting people who are just, I don't know, they're so proud of their nastiness.
Yeah, and this is like just the most, they are the most reprehensible people.
And Greg Abbott, he told the people that he gave the contract to not to communicate they had to sign an agreement that they would not talk to authorities in New York, would not tell them when they were coming, how many people were on the bus that he was sending, where they were going, where they were going to drop them off at, where they were coming from, like nothing. They can't tell them anything or what time they're arriving. To just leave these people. And then they're like, well, they come and break our law. What laws? They haven't broken any laws. Because anybody that is over the age of my age or older, whose parents were maybe migrants or whatever, and they say, my parents came here the right way. I'm going to say, bullshit. What's the right way?
Yeah, you don't even the right way.
Know, because all you talk about is how your family came here with nothing. Well, what way was that? Because that's no different than anybody else. They came here with nothing. So how did they get here and lived here for years before they became full-fledged citizens?
Well, people like to pretend that they would have just like let their families starve to death or die in uncertain circumstances instead of like coming here illegally.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, I'm sure you would have been like, no, I can't come. All right, we'll just die.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Cool. Like no one ever reacts that way when they're like, you have like parenting or just any survival instincts for yourself or people you love. It's ridiculous. It's just like.
Well, when people say, El Paso has been a conduit for immigration because, it goes in cycles. During Hitler's reign. And then when we had a lot of immigrants coming from Eastern Europe, from Hungary, and the U.S. put a ban on Eastern European Jews pretty much from coming. And then in El Paso, like coming over from Juarez, they had a stay in Mexico thing, which again, as said, the GOP's unoriginal. And they had to stay. So some of the Jewish migrants opened businesses and was like, it's not so bad here, and open businesses, department stores and stuff. Syrians during the war in Syria was going and they were fleeing Syria in the 1920s. So we have a bunch of Lebanese and Syrians, they don't like it, but it's the same. We have Syrian and Lebanese refugees that came and they came up through Juarez. And then my friend who has gone full MAGA, he loves to talk about how his dad was eating banana peels off the ground in Juarez because he was starving and poor because he fled war in Syria. And then he's sitting here and he's like, look at those damn refugees over there at the building across from his law office. And he's looking out the window. And I'm like, when your dad came here and your dad ended up having a very successful business, you were a famous, I said, you don't live in the real world. Like what's happened because you look very Middle Eastern. There's nowhere you can go that you don't look Middle Eastern. And you talk about how you get treated and you're never going to North Carolina again and this, but then you turn around and you say all of these horrible things about migrants coming here.
Oh, the irony.
But it really, like, it angers me. And then we have Chinese settlers, and a lot in Juarez. Some of them just stayed in Juarez, but were coming, like, because of the railroad and stuff, and ended up in Mexico and then made their way up here. So it's like, it's not just a place where Mexicans have been coming over or people from South and Central America, but all over the place. There's like 20,000 Ukrainians crossing the southern border that they flew into. The difference is because they're coming from across the pond, a lot of them fly. So they fly into Mexico and then they make their way to the border and cross over and, and just overstay their visa and never leave, kind of thing. Versus if you're coming from El Salvador, you've got to make that trek, or you're taking the bus, or, the opportunity for you to, like, just, hop on a plane or something. It's run a little bit differently, but, it's just, the way that people are behaving is just beyond me. The things that people say, and especially here, when I know people that are second generation Latinos, some that are fourth generation, and I'm like, you wouldn't even be here right now to say these horrible things that you're saying if these policies were in place when your grandparents or your parents were trying to come here.
Yeah, the short-sighted nature of people it's very off-putting sometimes.
Yeah. Really.
All right. Well, look, way to drag things down here at the end. Man. Yeah.
This is where we are. This is where we are.
Things don't have to be this way forever. Maybe we can slowly chip away at some of these things and get people to be a little bit more open-minded so we can have a better and brighter future. God, I sound like a fucking commercial. All right. But anyway, as opposed to closing thoughts, we just have a couple of questions from some Twitter followers that I'll try to get some answers to here. Let's see. Lady down in Texas. That is literally at Lady down in Texas.
Oh,
on the Twitter. She asked, do you think any of the top secret documents, I'm assuming that would be from Mar-a-Lago, are about UFOs, or do you think that the intel, if it exists, was withheld from Trump? Well, I'm entirely certain that Trump, being of mundane mental capacity, the first thing he did when he became president was ask the fucking government about UFOs. So whatever information they have, I'm sure he has it. And he probably stole it on his way out too, so he can be like, look, it's the fucking aliens, dog. I got the pictures. I got the video. Here you are. Yep. That's probably the case. And Mara Jade, that is at Malin Resists, at MALYN Resists, asks, are there any guesses about tomorrow's big reveal from Miss Letitia James' announcement in New York? And I would wager a guess that she is going to file a lawsuit against Trump and Trump Org and sue them out of the fucking existence. That's my personal guess. She's not one to file criminal charges, but her civil suits leave. Yeah, she leaves a number of companies in her wake.
She's good at what she does. She's good at what she does. I've been reading through the AG's website, and I get like updates every day. And it's like Attorney General James gets $30 million from landlords for stolen deposits. Letitia James stops robocalls, gets settlement. Like, she's really good at what she does. I wish that the guy in Manhattan was as good with his criminal work as she is with her civil.
Alvin Bragg just don't be giving a fuck. He like, I'm here. I guess I'll go after somebody if it's an easy target.
He's a company. He reminds me of a company man. Like, I'm just going to toe the line. I'll do some shit if it's really, really bad. And I'm pressured to do it. But other than that, no. I'm just chilling. Like, that's the vibe I get. I'm watching. Okay. And then what else? Like, he's just, I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like him.
Well, I'll be looking forward to that announcement from Letitia tomorrow. Hopefully it's some good news. And I think that concludes this particular episode of Part of the Insurrection. Thank everyone out there for listening. We appreciate your support. Like, subscribe, rate, review, unsubscribe, resubscribe, re-like, re-rate, re-review. Do that for us to get us up in the algorithm. Like, help us rig this thing so we can be super popular and take over the world. Like a reverse Joe Rogan, where we're not out here saying ridiculous shit and trying to get people to drink their own urine and not get vaccinated so they can continue to die in the pandemic. I don't know where that came from.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Oh.
Die to own the libs.
Are you willing to die to own the libs? And if you're going to die, just please do so before the November election. Like, don't vote. Like, go ahead and get the death part out of the way, and then we don't have to worry about you come midterms.